Hello, and welcome to our Field Service Mobile Application Overview. My name is Jason Morton, and I am the Director of Marketing and Business Development here at EBS. Today's demonstration will follow the following outline. First, there will be a feature overview over the Field Service Mobile Application. From there, I'll jump and talk about our company history, EBS's company history, and company overview. And then from there, the process flow that I will use for the Field Service Mobile Application is I'll start over into the business system and complete a work order, as well as assign a technician, show you how it populates into the dispatch log. And from there, I'll jump into the mobile application, go through each screen in the mobile application in great detail, complete that work order that I assign that technician, capture images, electronic signatures, email marketing materials, and then close out the work order. And then lastly, what I'll do is I'll go back into our Next for Windows business system and show you how the person that's responsible for reviewing and invoicing, how that process works and how you'll go ahead and invoice that work order. So, Field Service Mobile Application. Our business system and all of our mobile applications are developed for equipment dealers and rental companies. So the Field Service Mobile Application, this application will increase billable hours. It improves workflow. It boosts your cash flow. It definitely increases customer satisfaction, improves preventive maintenance completion performance, and it definitely saves the cost of printed paper-based work orders, eliminates work order and PM checklist filing, and it slashes phone traffic between dispatch and field techs. Okay, so the Field Service Mobile Application is a fully integrated part of our Next for Windows software, which connects, the field technicians remotely with your offices all in real time. Our business system, Next for Windows system, is completely real time, fully scalable. You can use iOS, Android, or even Windows devices, whichever you prefer. And some of the features, as you can see in the bullet points, it's a real-time, fully integrated into the parts, service, and accounting systems of our software. I'll show you how you can, eliminate typing notes in the software. You can speak to tech notes. We're going to capture, store, and email pictures, electronically sign and email those documents. I'm going to also attach, when we're finished doing this, how you can attach marketing and promotional materials. If you're running a brake special or some sort of special, or you see, something that they may need at a future time, you can go ahead and attach that to the work order and send it to them. And a lot of other great features on here that'll make your organization, continue to make your organization more efficient, especially on the technician side. So a little bit about EBS, if you don't know much about us. What we do is we develop 360-degree, full turnkey, real-time equipment business software solutions for equipment dealers and rental companies. Our system is fully scalable, real-time system, no batch processing, and our customer base ranges from single location dealers, some of the smallest dealers in the world, to some of the largest dealers and rental companies in the world with 10, 20 plus location dealers, all with tens of thousands of users. We were founded in 1964. We have over 55 years of experience developing this progressively dealer-driven software development platform that we have. Our software development team possesses well over 100 plus years of combined experience. We're headquartered here in Houston, Texas. The whole shebang is located in Houston. Our support is located down the hall from me. Our 8 developers are down the hall from me. So everything is headquartered here in North Houston, Texas. We pride ourselves on having industry first and industry leading mobile and web applications. We have a very interactive and collaborative EBS users group, and we have various focus groups that meet throughout the years of dealers that helps us with the further development of our mobile applications and further development of our business system. One of the unique things where we're different from all of our competitions is we develop customizable business software solutions, which means that you may have a parts department, a service department, a rental department, accounting department, but the process by name only, but the processes within those departments run differently from dealership to dealership or rental company to rental company. So what we do is when our project managers go out during the pre-site discovery phase, what they do is they learn everything about your business, learn your processes, and we collect all of your data, whether they're spreadsheets, other business systems, data. We come back to our offices, and him and his team, or her, there's Jackie, they go work as a collaborative group to take all your data sources and processes and customize the business system, according to your dealership's requirements. So that's kind of where we're different. We're not a one-size-fits-all shop over here. We do understand that there are different processes within dealerships. We are experienced converting every single major competitor over to EBS and have great references about our installation and training. Our data conversion and installation and training teams well possess over 75 years of combined experience. We have a 100% go-live success rate, which means that when we set a go-live date to be on our business system and mobile applications, and you agree to that date, because we work with you together, we have 100% that you will be live that date. There's no going over that date. And also we pride ourselves as offering 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, industry-trained technical support professionals. One of the unique things about us is that we have partner dealers that allows some of our new support staff to go out in real-world situations and see how a dealership flows, see how an accounting department runs. That's all, on top of the extensive training and testing that they get here at the office. So we definitely have a very competent technical support staff. And also, one thing that I don't have on bullet point is we have over 150 plus different manufacturer integrations to various manufacturers throughout the world. And our development team continues developing that on a daily basis, so you can have seamless integration between your dealership and your manufacturer. Okay, so we talked about our support department. So what we do, if you're a customer of ours, or if you decide to become a customer of ours, we offer 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, full customer support. We have a full web-based support call tracking system. You can go on our website, submit tickets, call in any time of the day, and our support professionals are here. Right now, we have 8 full-time support personnel, 4 full-time developers on site. We also do automatic manufacturer price updates for you. And we have the full ability to provide custom programming and integration, development capabilities to your manufacturers. Users group, our software is driven by our dealers. So we have dealer-driven software development. We have focus groups that meet quarterly, and over 90% of EBS customers are members of our users group. It's like a separate corporation with source code agreement. And also the users group meets annually, 3rd week of April, and this past year they met in New Orleans. Okay, so from here I'm going to jump into our Next for Windows business system. And right now I'm in our Dispatch Central. This is actually our service area of the software. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to open up a work order with one of my demo customers. Okay, so when you come into call entry, you'll have your branch number here. So contact, I'm gonna put myself. Customers, you could enter customer's name, number, however you want. So if I press Smith, you could do SMID and just press enter, and it'll populate the names that are closest to that. But I'm just going to spell it out and select my customer. And find my piece of equipment here. So now what you're going to notice in our business system, we have a lot of warnings and pop-ups that come into here. And you can, create little notes that pop up within the system to warn you and things. So this particular warning says there are 3 dispatch calls already open for this machine, and it lists all of them. So I'm going to press OK. So the next section is problem as reported by customer. Make it simple, will not start, things not starting. And here under action, we give you 3 options. You can go ahead and add it to dispatch, you can open up the work order and add it to dispatch, or work order is already open. For best practices, we recommend going ahead and open up the work order and adding it to dispatch. Now here is where you will assign the tech. If you don't know the tech number, if you have thousands of technicians like some of our large dealers have, F6 is going to be your best friend throughout the system, because what that does, it'll bring up the list of all of your techs, and you could just double click it, select one. So priority, all of these drop down fields are customizable. We're going to say this is a dispatch, and this is field shop PM other quote. We're going to say this is a field job. You can go ahead and schedule them out on a calendar if you want to. We also have a call scheduler or technician call calendar. I'll show you this added feature. And a lot of our dealers put this up on big screen TVs. It basically schedules out your technicians. You can hover over it. It's real time. You can hover over it. It gives you the extensive details of the customers, the assigned technician, what's wrong with the equipment ID number. If I go over here to one of my technicians and double click on it, it'll bring up a pop-up. So, if they're like out for the day, if they're sick, on vacation, personal day, you can schedule that out, and they'll populate here on the calendar, a start date to end date, and as long as you click update, it'll update it back into our business system. I can hold down the left mouse button, I can just drag it to another technician, expand the hours, press update, and it'll update it back in the business system. That's our call scheduler. So what I've just done here before I log this call is I've entered the customer name, selected a piece of equipment, reported the problem as will not start. We're going to go ahead under action, we're going to open up the work order and add it to dispatch. I went ahead here and assigned my technician number 10. This is going to be a dispatch call, and it's going to be a field job. Okay, so the next step, I'm going to log it in, and it says here I got another pop-up. PO required for this customer. Do you want to enter a PO number now? I'm going to select no. And now it brings me over to the work order header. So now you just go here and review the process, field job, and go down here, go to page 2. This is where the customer ship to address information is, tax codes. I'm not going to add notes to this one. It says what the work description is. I'm going to go ahead and click add, which is going to add it to our dispatch log. So you're going to get a number here, work order assigned number, which is 1547. And now I'm going to get a call number. It's going to go through the processing process right now. So my call number you give to the customer is going to be 717. All right, so now that call is entered into our dispatch log. So if I go here to the next tab over to our dispatch log, and even though I see it populated here, if you right click on it, it automatically refreshes. So here at the bottom of our dispatch log, we have a robust filtering system where you can filter out between your shop jobs, your field jobs, PMs, other, quote, and you can actually create custom filters. So this is the one I created is actually a field job. It's going to be this 1547. And like I said, everything on our system is real-time, fully drillable. So you can, before we go into the actual mobile app, if I wanted to drill through this, just for review, it brings us into the work order. And you can see here it's assigned to technician number 10. And then also another thing that I want to do is show you is I want to select one of these dispatches. And I'm going to show you how from this dispatch log, you could double click on one and just reassign it to a technician. So if I take this Champion Erectors that I just have highlighted that has fuel leak, if I double click on that, it brings me to that work order. And right here in the middle, it says it's assigned to technician 100. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to assign this to technician 10. And then if I click on OK, now when I'm logged into the mobile app, I'm going to see that Champion Erectors has fuel leak in the technician's dispatch log. And one other thing that I want to kind of point out, I'm right-clicking, refreshing it, is these different colors you see here, the color schemes on the dispatch log. So what they signify is when you see the blue, that basically means that a work order has been opened and a technician has been assigned. See, work order is open and technician is assigned. The black basically means that one of the two conditions hadn't been met. See a couple of the black here. And then if you utilize another mobile application that we have called Mobile Service Call, which allows your customers to log their calls in, those would actually populate in this dispatch log as orange. Okay, so the work order that I just created with the Smith companies, this 1547 down here will not start. This is the one that we're going to go through the process and close it out and go back and show you how to invoice it. So now I'm done here in the business system. So now I'm going to launch the mobile app. So when you launch the field service mobile application, your technician will enter their username and password, and I'm going to select login. And from there, it'll bring your technician into the dispatch calls, all of the calls that are dispatched to him. So here at the bottom, here's that will not start. That's the work order that we just completed in our system. And the one above it, if you look at it, that has fuel leak, this is the one that was scheduled for technician number 100, and we double-clicked on that work order in our dispatch log, and we changed it from 100 to 10. So now when we logged into our system, it shows up here as like a signed work order for this technician. So yes, when your technician enters their username and password, they'll see all the calls that are assigned to him. You have the work order number, customer name, ship to address, notes, model, date, call number, and he also has the option to, if you got a lot of calls, he has this filtering system. So he can filter all of his calls by branch, by equipment ID, and next to equipment ID you see this little phone. So basically what that means, if you utilize our barcoding, if you utilize barcodes or QR codes, you can just go ahead and select that, and then you can just go ahead and scan that barcode in. Makes life a lot easier. If you utilize our business system, our mobile apps to its fullest, you can literally turn your dealership into a paperless system. I mean, you can still, download stuff and email, print it out from the system, but it's really nice to be paperless if that's your goal in the future. Underneath the equipment ID, you have he can sort by the manufacturer, the type, which is a customizable screen, customer number, serial number, model number. And then next to it, you have this in progress. It's like work in progress, right? You start it, but he hadn't finished it. So you can go through, those, which is a lot of them. And you also have that filtering system as well. where you can filter out the work in progress, by branch. If you have multiple branches, equipment number, manufacturer type, which is customizable drop down, customer number, serial number, as well as model. And also what I'm going to show is that this up here, these three dots up here, has a drop-down menu. So if I click on one of them, if I click on it, you'll see the first one says GPS routing. So if I click on that, what the GPS routing does, it gives you the driving directions for each call listed on the technician's dispatch screen. So it plots it out in a map. The next little selection here is equipment image. So that allows your technician, to take pictures, to look at pictures of the equipment owned by this customer, by that particular customer. To add non-billable hours, technicians can you can clock in it. It allows them to clock in and out, adjust time, calculate time, speak to text notes. Anywhere where you have this little speaker, you could speak to text notes. And then, whatever this drop down you want it. Right now I have it set on vacation, training, sick, bereavement. So you have those customizable selections. And show checklist. This is something that a lot of people like. So the show checklist, so basically what this means, if a customer has multiple PMs done, so instead of getting individual signatures, you can actually, create a batch and just get one signature for all of these PMs. Like right now, I have 2 for the Smith companies and I have 1 for Shank Constructors. So I can just go here and if I click on batch sign, I got selected, and then you click batch sign, you can go ahead and get those electronically signed. Now back here in our dispatch log, here on the right, you see this green check mark. So the green check mark basically means that the call has been synced. Underneath it, you have a little pencil sign. Basically, that means that, that's where you would go in and edit a call. And this wrench with a cog, that's where you would add parts, labor, notes, just basically go through the whole process. And here at the bottom, since I'm on here, your tech can search parts inventory. So, all the parts that are on his van or what's on hand in inventory, he can go through and filter that out, select the branch, part number, manufacturer description, so he can go through the parts inventory. And also here at the bottom, if you give him this opportunity, he can go ahead and add a call to dispatch, go through a process. So I'm going to take this bottom one, this 1547, the Smith companies here, and I'm going to go ahead and explain each of the screens in the edit dispatch. So as you can see, we divide everything in the edit dispatch screen into sections. Now we have numerous sections. So the first one, if you utilize the QR codes, barcodes, you can just select that and just scan it in. Scan it in, and just populate that information. The section underneath is job location. You have the company name, the address, and right next to it you have this map, which it plots out on the map where that customer is located. City, state, zip code, phone number, fax, PO, contact, email, mobile number is listed under the contact, the customer and job location. Next section is called customer. This will list the branch number, the customer number, ship to address, zones, contact information. Equipment. have the customer number, and also next to the customer ID, you have the little mobile sign again, which means you can scan the QR code or barcode, equipment ID, manufacturer, model, serial number. If this piece of equipment had warranty information, that would populate here. You can view all the warranty information. This problem reported by customer, this pulls this, from the business system that will not start re-added. Like I said, anywhere you see these microphones signifies that you could speak to text. And I'll show you how that works when we start completing a call. Start going through the work order process. Field and billing reference, customizable. Billing reference, you may say that you need the PO or this is a warranty. Like I said, these drop downs are customizable. And you can also establish a priority. Work order checklist assignment. When you enter a call, it defaults to that particular checklist, which checklists are made by you. Or if you want to assign one, you can drop down the menu and see which ones are available. The history, you can review all of the history that's been done. And also, you can see the parts history. We'll break it down even further between parts history, miscellaneous history, labor history, and notes history. So this is edit dispatch. This is where you can go in there and just, edit information on the call. Okay, so back here to the dispatch, the next icon over is this wrench with the little cog, and this is actually where we're going to go through the whole process, where we're going to add parts and labor. So when you open this up, the parts and labor screen, here at the top, it's kind of broken down into 3 sections. You have services performed. The next area is where we're going to enter the notes, and then the assigned job codes. So here you have your work order number. You'll go here and select the segment to the work order. You have multiple segments. You'll have customer information, serial number, customer ID, equipment ID, the model. We will require you to put hours on here. So if the previous hour is 0, or if there's nothing here, you'll have the option of entering some hours or selecting no meter. And this billing reference, this is a drop down that's customizable. You can select you want a PO from them, it's a warranty, and then as you can see, the checklist. These are the defaulted checklists that bring it into the call. So the next section underneath that is the work time. So technicians have the ability to click in and out of jobs, which are not required. If you select on, we will require you to select off. So basically all we do is validate the total time. So I'm going to select on, off, but I'm going to bring it up some hours. And then when you do that, this labor code is defaulted in from a variable setting, but the labor code can be changed. So those are the type of ways that the technician can enter time. Okay, so the next section under work time is parts used. So if I click the plus, it's going to bring up a pop-up. These are the parts that are going to be required in order to fix that piece of equipment. So part number, you can enter a part number here. You can scan the part number. If you utilize the barcodes, QR codes. But I want to search. I'm going to click search, see what we have. So I got a shock mount and a cable throttle. So I'm going to select the cable throttle, and it just brings all that information in. You're going to be required to enter a quantity number before he gets out of here. So I'm going to just select 1. So if everything looks good, I'm going to click Add. And now that added it back to the parts and labor. So now under parts used, I can see that I have the part number, 105178. The description is the cable throttle, and I have a quantity of 1. So the section underneath that is miscellaneous charges. So if I click the plus, I can go ahead and add those miscellaneous charges. This drop-down menu is customizable. I think I got grease. I'm going to select some grease. And quantity, I'm just going to type in 1 and click Add. And now when we go back under miscellaneous charges, you see that the grease has been added. So I got my part here, my grease. Now this add new parts, or this add parts needed, click on that, show you that. So basically, these are parts that are not on the technician's van, but they're needed for repair. You know, maybe you need to stop by AutoZone somewhere and purchase a part or something. You know, you would enter that part number, you know, manufacturer description, quantity number, any kind of notes, and you can also have the option to ship this to. You can ship it to the customer, ship it to the tech, you know, however you want to, you know, to ship it to. It gives you that option. Okay, so back here up at top, I'm going to go to the notes, section. So let me click on that. And what I'm going to do, demonstrate, this is where you'll enter your internal notes, complaint notes, and it tells you next to it, the customer is going to be able to view this, whatever you put here. And internal notes, that's for internal. So I'm going to demonstrate the speaking aspect of it. I'm going to speak internal notes, complaint notes, calls notes, correction notes, and invoice notes. So the way the speak to text works, this little microphone here, I'm going to click on it for internal notes. Customer claimed bad service last time. Customer claimed bad service, period. So the complaint notes will not start, period. So the calls notes, bad cable throttle, period. Correction notes, replace throttle cable, period. And any invoice notes. Next PM job in 6 months. Next PM job in 6 months, period. Okay, so now you can go review the notes. And if everything looks good, then we're going to go over to the job code. So if you utilize flat rate codes, you select the little funnel here, select that, select those flat rate codes, job codes. You may have that as well, job codes, but I want to put, we got one, PPE. And then when you select one, it brings the flat rate code, the job code, and it just, brings everything in. And then I'm going to click Save. If you click Save, the alert will come up. It says, do you want to save and exit this process? You can save and exit, you can save, or you can go ahead and complete it. So we're going to say we're going to go ahead and complete. So now you have a reminder, complete or review the checklist before clock out. So we're going to select OK. So now it brings us into our checklist. So before I start the checklist, here at the bottom you have the legend. like a legend, however you want to create it. This is all populated, customizable. So if I select one, it's going to, you know, tap it one time, that's okay. So if I do it like 3 times, 2, 3, R is repair made. So that's how you go maneuver between the legend, is you just double click on it. I mean, you just keep pointing it. Now here where it says capture image is going to require, you could name it whatever you want. So if I click on the little icon here, I'm going to capture an image. Now, one thing to notice, when you capture an image, this is going to help you greatly to verify that that picture was taken where it was taken. Because we've had a couple of issues with some dealers, dealers' customers were saying that, oh no, that picture wasn't taken there. So what we do is we added some security for you. We watermark the date and time, we watermark the longitude and latitude where that picture was taken, the equipment ID, and then the date, and then also the customer signature. So I'm going to go ahead, you can either retake this photo or you can use the photo, and I'm going to use the photo. I'm going to take one more. Okay, brings in the timestamps, the longitude, latitude, date, equipment ID. The photo looks great, so I'm going to use photo. And when I'm done, here at the top, I'm going to select done. So now it brings me back to the checklist. That part has been completed. And the other part, say OK. Now here under trips, if it's more than one trip, we're going to require it to be authorized and a reason code. So I'm going to select it was one trip, and if you require a customer purchase order, you put that in here too. So I'm going to select submit. And the next screen that's going to come up is going to be to review. So here are the parts and labor. The review details is broken up between parts and labor details and then checklist details. So all the notes here, so here under parts and labor detail, you have the notes section first. So all the notes that we spoke. The next section underneath that is worked hours. The next section under the review process is the parts that were used. Underneath that, you have the miscellaneous charges. We didn't add any, additional parts needed, so we just, it's left blank. And now, if that looks good, then we're going to move over. I'm going to move over to the checklist details, and then it's just a summary of all the checklist information. Now, here, if you were batch processing this, I showed you earlier where, you can get batch signatures from customers. You can go ahead and save this checklist, and then they'll add it to that batch process. So what I'm going to do here, I'm just going to go ahead and click continue. And then it's going to come here and ask for the signature. So I'm going to say that since I was a contact, and I'm going to put my name here. And then underneath it is the electronic signature. You also have an opportunity selection here, no signature can be obtained. If you don't like the signature, you can clear the signature, but I'm going to go ahead and submit. So the next process that comes, the next step to this process is marketing materials. So you can select various different marketing materials. I'm going to select this service. And then submit. And then if the email address is already on file, you can go ahead and select one. If not, if they want to send it to a different email address, you can go ahead and just populate it here or type it in here. So I see mine actually here, so I'm going to select mine. And then once I'm finished with that, click submit. So now, when you complete the process, you get a pop-up that says success, synced successfully. So if I press OK, then what happens now is that completed invoice is sent over to the $$ area within our business system, which I'll show you in the next few minutes, to the person that goes and reviews the work orders and then closes it, not closes it out, but goes ahead and invoices it to the customer. One thing I was going to show you before we go back to the business system is on this parts and labor screen at the bottom. Let me go ahead and explain these icons here at the bottom. So when you're in this parts and labor screen, the quote basically means it allows the technician to collect the customer's contact, any parts that are needed, any labor estimates, and basically take all that data, capture images. They can, go ahead and capture an image if they want to, and you'll have the customer information, contact name, any parts needed, labor estimate, problems that they're having. And when you select add to quote, what that does, it sends that quote to the person responsible for generating quotes. So they can go ahead and get a quote together, email it back to the tech, electronically send it back to the tech. And then here at the top, the technician can capture a picture and then attach it to this quote request. Also here at the bottom, you have scheduled maintenance. SM stands for scheduled maintenance. So if I click on that, I don't have any scheduled maintenance on this piece of equipment. That would populate here. MC is machine characteristics. You have to save, and then you also have the little checklist box here. You can select checklist. All right, so back here to my dashboard, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to log out of this, and I'm going to go back to our business system. Okay. Now, back here to the dispatch log, I'm going to right-click, because right-click will always refresh. Still get this pop-up. Okay, so now the way you would review it, the next person in the process that reviews and invoices, here in our dispatch log, we have this here at the bottom. We refer to it as our $$ menu. So if I click on that, it brings us into the completed jobs to be invoiced. And here at the bottom is our work order 1547. So if I double click it, because like I said, everything in our system, every single department of accounting is fully drillable, rollable. You can just drill into everything. So if I double click here, this is where you review, your customer's information, the manufacturer model, serial number come in here, the work order, time and materials cost, what was invoices, flat rate codes, your gross profits would populate here. And if everything looks good, if you go ahead and click OK, we'll make sure you close it. And once you click OK, then they'll go ahead and go and invoice it. So that's the process of our field service mobile application. To kind of summarize it a little bit before I talk more about our additional mobile applications, the process would be you would enter a call through our call entry screen, which we refer to our service area as Dispatch Central. This is everything about dispatch, all these tabs here. Once you enter a call, you assign a technician here at the bottom, it populates into our dispatch log. Okay. If you have another call here that you want to change a technician, all you have to do is double click on a call, and where it has like right here technician 20, if I go here you just select technician 10, click OK, it'll just move it over into that technician's dispatch log when he logs into his mobile application. So from there, once you enter the call, it's on the dispatch log, you assign it to a technician. Then the process that we use, we rolled on into the mobile application where they enter their username and password. And once they logged in, they'll see all the calls on the dispatch log of all the calls that are assigned to them. They have various different options here where they can edit a call. This cog and this wrench and cog is where you add the parts and labor, you add the notes, you go through the whole process. Here at the top, the three dots here at the top, you have a drop-down menu, GPS routing, which means they'll route all the calls on the technician's dispatch log, driving directions. You also have equipment images. You can view and take images at non-billable hours. The show checklist. You can get batch signing for multiple PMs for customers. And once you complete the work order, you go back to our business system, and the person that's responsible for reviewing everything and invoicing it, that's where they'll complete their aspect of the job. So that right there, my friends, is our field service mobile application. We've had our Windows version out for over 10, 11 years. We were actually the first in the industry. And right now, we just recently optimized it for iOS, Android applications, which is already out in the field, you know, used by technicians. So we have a strong reference base. Before I let you guys go, I want to talk a little bit about our mobile and web applications. So in addition to our 360-degree real-time scalable business system that covers every single department, we have right now about 9 mobile and web applications that we offer our customers as a complement to our system. You know, when you buy our business system, you don't buy a module here, module there. You get everything, which, you know, saves you a lot of money. So our eSuite is also specifically developed and designed for equipment dealers and rental companies. We had the demo over the field service mobile application today. Hopefully it was informative for you. So this customer self-service web portal, all of our mobile and web applications, as you see right here on Mobile Service Call, are all brandable to your brand. You can have your logo, you can have, you know, what you can call it whatever you want. Like we service probably about 60 to 80% of the Raymond dealers in the United States, around the world. So here, like Anderson Material Handling, for example, they call this mobile service call PowerTrack Service Assisted Mobile Forklift Dispatcher. And, you know, we make the colors and the images and everything look like, you know, your dealership. So it's all fully customizable. So when your customer will enter their username and password and go to the customer self-service web portal, it'll have your logo and information. Like a good example would be Hug and Haul up in Arkansas, large equipment dealer. So here, when they enter their username and password, they can review their invoices, schedule service calls, any kind of current rentals, maintenance history. They could support, you know, issue support tickets through here, and then they also could pay invoices if you allow them to do it. Now, you know, we have through the user manager, you can, you know, let them see all this information, or you can restrict whatever you want to restrict it, and including our business system. You know, when you create individual users throughout the system, you know, you may have one a parts guy, all he wants to do is just create orders and look up inventory. So you can skinny it on down to their job. The next application we have is the Mobile Service Call. It allows your customers to log their, to communicate from the job site, to update meters, to log the service call, and to request a new rental or pickup. If they do a service call, it'll populate in your dispatch log as orange, so you know that's a mobile service call. The eSide mobile application allows your team the ability to deliver parts, rental orders, complete rental check-ins and check-outs, complete with pictures and capture images. We also have the ability to, you know, if you have equipment that needs to be transported, if you're transporting equipment or have truck drivers, we also have a mobile app for them, well, through eSign, the ability to see all their pickups and deliveries, and also to capture electronic signatures, capture images that are, you know, time-stamped, you know, from the transportation management system, from the truck driver, if you you know, transport equipment. CRM Mobile. It allows your sales team to add, complete, and update calls and prospects by, keeping notes fresh and up to date, records up to date. They can see all the opportunities in the CRM mobile application, and it just flows back and forth between the business system all in real time. eCount, utilizing QR codes, barcodes, it allows you to parts and equipment physical or cycle inventory counts by entering or scanning barcodes for parts in the warehouse and equipment in the yard. So basically, you can create a process in the business system. You can go out and do your inventory by scanning barcodes instead of counting. You can scan the barcodes, to conduct the equipment inventory, as well as physical and cycle parts counting. Quote to sell. So if your sales team's on the road, your sales team can quote items inside and outside of your inventory. And then what happens is when a quote becomes a sale, the team can report it into the main system to be processed, ordered, or invoiced. eSearch, we have a very robust, easy to use equipment search, equipment inquiry search. So basically, this is the mobile aspect of it. So it allows you to search and see the pictures as well of everything that equipment inventory, everything that you have. Kiosk. Basically, this is used by dealer personnel to create sales and rental orders next to like a cash register. They can electronically sign. You have like a kiosk next to your cash register in the office. This is what a kiosk would do. And in addition to these 9 mobile applications, we have 2 more coming out within the next month or so. We have a trade-in mobile application, so where you can process all your trade-ins, and the other one I think it has to do with something with equipment images. But all of our development on the business system and mobile apps are all dealer driven. Like I said, we have numerous focus groups that meet and work with us on keeping our software up to date, as well as about 40 to 50% of our new customers require some sort of tweaking or development to meet their business requirements. We like to see ourselves as being your technology partner. So other than that, if you have any questions, or if you want to see a more extensive demo over our mobile applications, or more about our field service mobile, or even an overview or departmental demonstrations over our business system, if you're in the market of taking a look at a better, efficient business system, please don't hesitate to contact me. Here's my email address. And then our office. I have my office and cell phone number, and we'll go ahead and schedule that with you, and understand what your problems were, what your problems are, and show you what we have, show you our solutions. We like to work in a consultative, collaborative approach. Other than that, thank you for your time.